think that's the theme of this evening too. For Gujarati and Marathi and Bengali and Assamese literature. I think it's a time we speak up. So, Sanjana ji, Samira ji, Edgar, Tanvi, friends, Bombay local. I sort of left Bombay in a double fast. And I'm back here in the local. So when I come here, some of us are Prithvi Theatre people here. So that was the Bombay we knew. And here is a new place that we have all created. So that is the first feel that I have today. That I come back to Bombay, I come back here, and it is not quite known to me. Those of us who write in any language, if that language becomes known to us, when we come back to that language in the next play or next poem or next novel, and if Gujarati is the same Gujarati which was known to me in my last poem, then I'm gone. Then I don't write in a living Gujarati language or a living English language or a living any language. So it's so good to come to a Mumbai where I do not know where the car which Samira ji had sent, where it would be parked. This was Fort area and I didn't know where I was. So that is the feel of writing in modern Indian languages. Classical languages at one stage became too known to the writers and the readers. Be it Latin or Sanskrit or Persian or for that matter English. So what is the adventure of writing in a language which is truly a living language, like modern Indian languages? And how is that seen by several others? We have friends from Gateway Festival right there in the back, and Mohanji and friends, and this. What is going on here? So at Jaipur Festival where we meet, and we meet the great ones there, it's kind of meeting of the gods and the men, where some of the pujaris of gods, they use, they welcome us, almost as kind of strangers in my own country. And they would say, how does it feel to be a writer in the margin? So that is one margin. That's how we are perceived by the pujaris of gods. Second, they would say, you are a Bhasha Kavi. I don't know from where someone has picked this up. You are a Bhasha Kavi. And how do you feel as a Bhasha Kavi? Third thing, of course, originality. What is our originality? So let me start my reading a little later, but with this, because all this is woven into Kamal's writing and my writing and so on. Bajorbai here, our plays and so on. So what is going on here? First of all, I refuse to belong to the margins in my own country. In fact, those who so place me in the margin come from outside the text. They are neither in the text nor even in the margins. So let us forget about this margin. The Gujarati writer is very much in the center of the text. And if I want to write something in the margin, I do it because I want Gujarati to become an unknown language to me in every new poem. That's why I go to the margin. I go to the margins of the main text Gujarati. The dynamism is within the languages. Arun Koladkar was a marginal poet, not for Indo-Indian writers. Of course, he wrote in English for a while, but Arun Kolatkar was a marginal language writer because he belonged to the margins of the mainstream Marathi. Or Sunil Gangotpadhyay belonged to the margins of the mainstream Bengali, and so on. So, margin. Secondly, Bhasha Kavi. See, you remember, Sanjana ji, we were all together at Jaipur, and someone asked me what is Bhasha Kavi or a Bhasha Kavi, introduced me with great kind of fanfare. And I said, I'm sorry, but those who write in English, these great ones who have come, don't they write in a Bhasha? Do they dance? Or do they paint their poems? They all write in language. What is this Bhasha Kavi? So that was second. I'm not a Bhasha. Everybody is a Bhasha Kavi. Everybody writes in language. The more you write in a given language, the better you are. And the more you write by becoming local and not by becoming global. If you are a great English writer, then you belong to some place in England and not in England. You belong to some place, a small fishing town in California, and not Chicago, and not whole of America. Those who belong to whole of America are journalists. Because their newspapers would not sell unless they write for whole of America. And so are these newspaper poets who are now the modern day gods. So these win all sorts of awards and so on. They are journalists because they don't belong to any locality. They belong to a globality. It's decided to become a global writer. You become a global journalist. So these are the three, and regionality. Region is a very difficult term. And writing in Gujarati is also like writing in Sanskrit or Persian or English and Hindi now. So it's more difficult to write in Sanskrit or Hindi, in fact, because the dynamics of that language itself. So Gujarati, but how is Gujarati? Now, most of my fellow Gujaratis, I don't know how many of us know when was the first literary text written in Gujarati. Even Kanhaiyalal Munshi was a very great writer, no doubt. But he said that before Hemchandra's time, Gujarati was spoken in the whole region. Now, Gujarati is too large for everybody to speak, quote, Gujarati. They speak Surti, and if you are speaking Surti, and if you go to Rajkot, it's difficult. I was brought up in Kutch, where we spoke sort of Kathiawadi. And then I came to Vadodara. And when we would play kite, Vadodara is a Gujarati Marathi city, like Bombay. Of course, Bombay doesn't recognize that. But it's a bilingual, multilingual city. So we would say when your kite cuts another. So in Marathi we would shout. I have shouted in Marathi, Gujarati boy, Kati hai. So Kati hai means kat dala hai in Marathi. When I came to Maharashtra and in Sikanagar in Girgam, when I started flying, and I started in Maharashtra, Kati hai, all the fellows started looking at me, what is he saying? Because here, like Surtis, they would say Kai Poch. I used to say, because of Kathiawadi thing, in Baroda you say Kambe, like that. And when you come here and say Kambe, they would say Khambat. Kambe is the name of Khambat also, kind of anglicization. See, Gujarati is a polyphonic language. And it picked up a particular tune of Gujarati. And in 1170, he was a young Jain monk, and before that he wrote only in Sanskrit, Prakrit and Upanishad. These are the three languages in which he wrote literature. But this young Jain monk thought he must be somewhat like you, Deepak, a mischievous fellow. So he said that no, I want to write in Gujarati. So there was no Gujarati, but he wanted to write in the language of Patan, because that's where he was. So he composed, he said his guru says, why not write in Apabhransha or Sanskrit? Because he knew Sanskrit and Apabhransha. like the palm of his hand. He was a great scholar, even the young fellow. So he said that when I go around and recite Bharateshwar and Bahubali's story, people don't understand in Sanskrit or even Abhabransha. Now their languages have changed. So I said, okay, you're right. But he said, Guru said that when you go out of Patan and when you go to Khambat, you would not understand this Patani language. So he started writing in a language which was kind of followed, and he would constantly travel as a Jain monk. So from Patan, coming down to Ahmedabad, going to Khambat, coming down to Surat and go on, and he started writing in a language and reciting. So his language got formed. That is how a Jain young monk who was reciting the same story and he wanted to communicate to people in their language, he started, and that's how Gujarati language, literary language was created. Region is also as artificial as a nation. You must understand. It is only sub-region which is real. So you must never lose touch with the sub-region even when you are writing Gujarati. Gujarati could become unknown to you if you travel from sub-region of Gujarat to sub-region of Gujarat. Local, absolutely Bombay local. So much about my scholarship. I hope you have properly impressed. Hemchandracharya's Guru Bhai, Vadi Devasuri. Vadi Devasuri's Shishya, Vajrasen Suri, wrote the first book, Bharateshwar Bahubali Ghor. It's become, people liked it so much that within a few years, Bharateshwar Bahubali Ras was written by a friend, Vajrasen Suri. So this is how Gujarati language. And Darsi Mehta came 250 years after Hemchandra's time. And yet we call him Adi Kavi because he rediscovered Gujarati. So Adi is not just one. There are many points of beginnings. Unfortunately, this, journalistic writers, you don't understand what is the adventure of writing in any language. It is not the number game that you are playing. It is not the award game that you are playing. It is not the number, it is not the revenue that you generate. These are very wrong standards and we are following it. Barring such your Bombay Gateway Festival and your local festival, just a few festivals are there which are trying to explore what it means to write in an Indian language, in a modern Indian language. So these are the few things which form. Let me read. This is a wonderful audience. Most of us have Gujarati as our mother tongue. But Gujaratis and Marathis and Bengalis must experience the thrill and the challenge of living in India. If you live in India, then for a while you suspend your Gujarati आणि मराठी मध्ये पण बोलून शकते आपण आणि मला मराठी तो येते तरी आणि आवडते तरी. Like that we know so many languages. So right now I'll read a poem in Gujarati and then present it kind of to start with some other well worked out translations also. But this first one I would like to read tentative translation. What is wrong with tentative translations? You must have first translations which could then be improved upon. Only if we have that kind of adventure. I don't know Marathi too well, but let me translate this Marathi poem. Then someone else who knows Marathi better will translate it better in Gujarati and so on. I hope there are some Marathis also who will do that for Gujarati. Because that's what's lacking really amongst our languages. We have become so kind of proud of our own languages. The thrill and adventure of living in India as a whole, or South Asia for that matter as a whole. Rahul Sankrutia knew Tibetan. So where is Rahul Sankrutia's children who would also know Tibetan and bring back Indian books, Sanskrit books, and Apabhansha, Prakrit books and Apabhansha books from Tibet into like Bodhgaya or Doha. Rahulji brought it back. These are the adventures. If we do this, nobody could stop us, writers and readers in Indian languages. These journalists would be good pay away, but we are not doing our work. So let me read this. How do we, this 12th century Gujarati poet. He is my poet. He is my brother. And Mirabai is my sister, though she belonged to Rajasthan. But there was no Rajasthan and no Gujarat at that time. It was a one unit. So this changing patterns of being Indian, this changing patterns of regionality also, all these things must go into our blood. All these things should go into our brain when we write. So let me read this Gujarati poem first. I will translate it a little bit. You follow Gujarati also. So it, Pardadi ane hu. Pardadi is grandmother's grandmother's grandmother. Dadi ki dadi ki dadi. So, how do दादी ने दादी आपने साथ केवी રીતે જોડાય? How do we live in 800 years and it's possible in 3000 years? How do we live? How can we become 4000 year old? That's the theme of this poem. It's a light poem, not kind of as heavy as my learned talk. And પરદાદી અને હું આજે સવારે સપનામાં મારે ઘેર મારા પરદાદા આવ્યા. પાઘડી, ખેસ, જનોઈ, પીતાંબર, ચાકડી સાથે પરદાદી હતા. સાડી મારી બાજેવી છે. आज सुबह सपने में मेरे घर मेरे परदादा आए. पगड़ी, खेस, जरोई, पीतांबर और चाकरी ने हिंदी में सुने पादुका संस्कृत. साथ में परदादी भी थी, साड़ी पहनी हुई, पूरी माँ जैसी. दादा का ड्रेस अलग था लेकिन दादी का ड्रेस मेरी माँ जैसा. वो दोनों आए मेरे सपने में मेरे घर. फोटा बोटा था मैं જોયેલા નહીં. એમના જમાનામાં કેમેરા ક્યાં છે? પણ સપનું મારું હતું એટલે હું એમને ઓળખી ગયો. फोटा बोटा देखा नहीं. उस जमाने में फोटोग्राफ कहाँ थे, लेकिन मेरा सपना था तो मैं पहचान गया कि मेरी दादी और दादा है. दादी तो बोलाए खरा कि आज घर છે, પણ દાદાએ પૂછ્યું શી ખાતરી? હું કહું છું ને તમે ચાલો અંદર. દાદી એ જ ટોનમાં બોલ્યા. દાદા અંદર આવ્યા પણ મારી સામે જોઈ, નજર નોંધી અને પૂછે, અલ્યા તું તું કોણ? दादी ने तो कहा भी कि वही घर है, लेकिन दादा ने पूछा कि खातरी कैसी पड़ेगी, श्योर कैसे होंगे? दादी कहे, दादी वही टोन में बोली तो मैं कहती हूँ ना चलो अंदर. दादा अंदर आया लेकिन मेरी सामने देखकर पूछने लगे कि अरे तू कौन है? मैं नाम करूँ आंखों एक अटक साथी. अटक तो छे पण दादा अटके. मारी कैप, ईयरफोन, विंड चीटर, स्पोर्ट्स शूज ऊपर नीचे नजर फेरवी, शर्ट ની અંદર જમણો પંજો ફેરવી, મારી દોરા વગરની છાતી જોઈ, કહે મને નહીં દાદીને, हाँ ये लागतो नहीं. दादा अंदर आए, मेरी सामने देखकर तू कौन है? मैंने पूरा नाम बताया. दादी कहने लगी कि सरनेम तो वही है. दादा कहने लगा कि सरनेम तो वही है, लेकिन फिर मेरी कैप, ईयरफोन, विंड चीटर, स्पोर्ट शूज सब देखकर और मेरे शर्ट में अंदर हाथ डाला कि जरूरी है या नहीं. ब्राह्मण थे हम, जरूरी तो थी नहीं. तो फिर कहने लगे कि ये मुझे नहीं कहने लगे, दादी को कहने लगे कि वो नहीं लगता है, ये तो अलग है. दादीए चुपचाप मारा घर में एक आटो लगाव्यो. પછી કહે મને નહીં દાદાને કે એ જ છે તમારા પોતરાનો પોતરો. दादी चुपचाप घर में एक चक्कर लगा कर आ गई और फिर दादा को कहने लगे कि वही है तेरे पोते का पोता. दादा शी खातरी જેવું મોં કરીને જોઈ રહ્યા. દાદી સહેજ હસીને કહે મને આના ઘરમાં ઘર જેવું લાગે છે. दादा क्या सर्टेनिटी ऐसा करके देखने लगे. दादी थोड़ी हंसी और कही कि इसके घर में मुझे घर जैसा लगता है. હવે દાદાએ મને પૂછ્યું, મને ઓળખ્યો દીકરા? હું તો એમને ક્યાં ઓળખી ગયો હતો, પણ જાણે ખાતરી કરવા પૂછતો હોઉં એમ મેં દાદીને પૂછ્યું, दादा ने दादी? फिर दादा मुझे पूछने लगे कि बेटा मुझे पहचाना? मैं तो उसको कब से पहचान गया था, तो मुझे डाउट करता था। फिर भी मैंने जरा मिस्chief से दादी की आंख में आंख डालकर पूछा, दादी यही दादा है ना? दूसरा कोई दादा था? दादी साव मारी माँ जेवू हसी करे। दादी बिल्कुल मेरी माँ जैसा हस करी। પછી સવારે જાગ્યો ત્યારે મને મારા ઘરમાં વધારે ઘર જેવું લાગે। फिर जब मैं जागा सुबह तब मुझे मेरा घर ज्यादा मेरा घर जैसा। तो do we have our grandparents visit us in our dream? Do we have quarrels with our grandparents, with our great-great-grandfather? Does our great-great-grandmother walk around in our home and feel at home? These are not just... see, life and literature are neither the same nor separate. They are not same in a kind of simplistic way, in a simple realism. Otherwise you should go and work in the slums or go to the villages and you no need to write about it. But on the other hand, life and literature are not separate because there are not separate questions about literature. Poetics arises out of ethics or sociology. Questions of individuals and families and communities and society and nation are not a separate set of questions. And questions about poetics are not separate set of questions. Only when the questioning is a total questioning of entire society or entire nation and one single poem, even one single haiku or one single doha. We now remember Sher and haiku but have forgotten doha. So couplet, questions about any couplet and question about the whole nation have to be the same. Then great literature is written. So this poem is about that. So let me read kind of a second poem also in the same vein. This is straight in English. Unfortunately, most of my fellow poets and my friends probably have heard this Maganni Hut so often that even without my reading from the original, you will remember a few lines. And please forgive me for reading it once again. But we are in India right now. We are not in Vadodara or Gujarat. We are in India right now. So I'll read this poem in English translation. It's called Magan's Insolence. Magan is a character. There are so many Magan sitting here. So he's a kind of a fellow. When you come to know him, about him from this. It's a character in my poems. Magan's Insolence. It all started with stubborn Magan saying, I want to live. It all started with stubborn Magan saying, I want to live. Gujarati literati was dumbfounded. You don't? Is that ever possible? The young clamored on one side. What about our experimental periodicals? Only if you die. On the other hand, the elders rebuked. What about centenary celebrations and if authors refuse to die? And what about the committees? All agreed upon this. If you choose to live, then quit the house of Gujarati literature. Done, said Magan. The moment he crossed the threshold, a miracle occurred. The Pope also should give me, kind of sainthood, because here also miracles occur in my poem. You should send this poem to the Pope. A miracle occurred. From the moment Magan said, okay, I want to live, I don't want to live in a house of Gujarati literature. And he went out. A miracle occurred. From the niche appeared Goddess Saraswati and informed the king that where Magan went, she would follow. And behind her, Goddess Experiment, Miss Realism, Mr. Rhythm, all began to leave, all adamant. Okay, they decided, okay, you troublemaker, stay and rot in that corner. Corner like what you are doing here. Second, but the fellow whose name was Magan, a few days on, he says, I want to love. All right, you nut. So we took him to Apollo Street, which incidentally is not too far from here. So we took him to the Apollo Street in this picturesque square and impressive building. In the building, a secret chamber under lock and key. We took Magan to the State Bank of India's safety deposit vault. As stated in the scriptures, they brought a priest along to recite mantras, handed one key to Magan and kept the other with them, and then with a chant, Glory to Ramchandra, Sita's spouse, they opened the locker. Have you ever, all of you must have gone, what a ritual, no? Sita Ramchandra ki jai, and then they opened the locker. One key with the banker, another key with him. And here, take this love, they told Magan. But the son of a bitch, Magan, says, this is not love. If this is not love, then what is it, you blockhead? All bigwigs, prize winners, medalists have taken love for their stories, poems, plays from this very lockers. And you fancy idiot claim that this is not love? What is it? If it is not love, what is it? Why should we keep it in the block, in the safety deposit vault then? One could use it when needed and return it safely here. It is always available. All those veteran professors use this year after year, and some of them have used it for 25 years. It is brand new every time. But this prick Magan, he says, I want to live and I want to love. Well then, crazy Magan was locked up in the house of letters. The place has Western style latrines. In the morning, everybody uses paper. Need a lot of paper. But Sardarji from Times of India, Khushan Singh was at that time when I wrote this poem, the editor of Times of India. And they used to have huge rolls. I used to study in St. James College, and we used to go to see Times of India from outside, because we are vernacular people. So Times of India people not enter, only for English. So from outside we got huge rolls of paper, just like that. So, need lot of paper, but that Sardarji from Times of India distributed huge rolls of paper which were left hanging there. Then all the literary big shots, both old and new, put their signatures at the bottom of the paper after use. And the contents would be published in periodicals or read on Akashvani. In case of an upset stomach after bad food, an entire novel could be serialized. On anniversaries and festival occasions, special numbers and anthologies could be brought out only out of this stock. This swine, Magan, did his work really well. Early every morning, he would do the job and forget to sign. But those literature loving editors would always be lurking around. They would grab a new poem, even if it had been discarded, and print it under the name of Magan, poet extraordinary. Only rarely would they put their own signature. Generally speaking, there is some ethics in Gujarati literature. No one would pinch another poems very often. And within a year, Magan got the state prize and 5 or 6 gold medals. And then there were celebrations and felicitations. Every paper announced that on a certain day and date, a felicitation program for Magan, the poet emeritus, would take place on the following, and the following speakers would speak, and the chairman would be so and so, plus a long list of well-wishers. Each one of them spoke. What oratory! Someone mentioned Kafka. Another spoke of Malar Mehta. And another spoke of Narsi Mehta. Malar Mehta is of course Malar Mehta, Indianized Malar Mehta. Some spoke of the love between a camel and a cow. Hindu-Muslim idea is a big thing. So someone spoke on the love between camel and a cow. And each one had an anecdote to relate. Auspicious and inauspicious, all was revealed. Finally, someone happened to remember, let that swine Magan say a few words. The chairman was all set to press the bell, saying, 1, 2, 3, speak. Magan, the dolt, the poor idiot, one pities him, says the same thing, what else? He says, and this after receiving so many prizes for poetry. He says, I want to live, I want to love, I want to write a poem. These are the stubborn beginnings of poetry in any language, but especially so in modern Indian languages. Because this is exactly what happens to writers in modern Indian languages. Because the organizers have some other objective. And I do not know about writers who write in these international languages. Sometimes they are also pampered by the publishers. But here is a friend who is sitting here, he works on the copyright and intellectual property rights and so on. So what happens to Indian writers? How they are treated by publishers? How they are treated by even organizers? Once in my own city, I was invited to speak at the city hall, Gandhinagar as we call it. So they told me, sir, please come. Okay, I'll come. So then I knew that they would expect me to go there and speak and come back. So I sat at my home. It was at 6:30. So at 6:30 got a phone call. Sir, where are you? I said, I'm right here in my home. Sir, but 6:30 the program begins. I said, let it begin. Let the program begin. But sir, it is your program. I said, yeah, I'm home. So he says, but we thought that you would come. I said, okay, if you thought I should come, what kind of uniform should I put on? And should I bring a drum? Or should I bring the kind of what? Because the bandwalas have to go there. Bandwalas. So I thought, I'm sorry, I thought you thought that I'm a poet. But there was a misunderstanding between us. You thought that I'm a bandwala. So I should come with a drum and with uniform and everything and come to your place. So I didn't go there. Of course they came rushing in. But this is how in my own Sanskar Nagari, Vadodara, I was treated by the Municipal Corporation of Vadodara. Of course they learned the language and dropped me like hot potato ever since. So the last time Bombay Baroda Municipal Corporation has invited me. So we must understand. We must have two things. One, no wish for money. Number two, no wish for fame. Unknown poor writer. That's how all our medieval writers have written. Unknown poor writers. Are we willing to pay that price? Then our mother tongues would produce great literature. They would be translated by those who know Gujarati. And many more people would like to know Gujarati because this is what is written in Gujarati by stubborn writers. By writers who want neither your money nor your fame. You want no price. I have my friends, 5, 10, 20, more than enough. And I would listen to their poems, I would listen to their work. So this is how, and that's what you are building, Sanjanaji. That's what Prithvi Theatre was. And that's what Junoon, and that's why you call it Junoon. Salute to you for being, as we say in Gujarati, Junooni. I do not know what they say in Hindi, but Junoon Baba. हाँ? जुनूनी कहते हैं, वो जुनूनी होना चाहिए, मॉडर्न में पहले से वो लड़का था, वो वज्रसेन सूरी, वो जुनूनी ही था। हाँ? A tree. The flowers, the leaves, they are gone. Bare are the branches, stark. But the tree is there. The flowers, the leaves, they are gone. Bare are the branches, stark. But the tree is there. The starry-eyed sky doesn't care to look this way. That's fine. But the tree is there. It's not spring yet. But the roots are fumbling, looking for something in the hard subsoil. Water? There is no water here. Only its meaning is on. The tree has much thirst. For now, there is almost nothing here. And everything is right down here. For now, there is almost nothing here. And yet, everything is right down here. The tree is here. The sunflowers, eyes shut, they stand still. The sunflowers, saffron. This was written long time back, incidentally. So saffron has my own meaning. So has green, and so has whatever, my own meaning. I write later on in present phase many poems of political unconscious, but not connected with ideology, this or that. So these are the early studies. The sunflowers. Eyes shut, they stand still. The sunflowers, saffron, has been in storm gale of darkness. Violent winds of darkness blow around, and killer waters of the dark climb stealthily up the stalks, entering through the many roots of the plant. As they reach petals, the waters of darkness have become saffron. In each plant it happens. Gripping the face of sunflowers in their large multiple fingers, darkness puts a layer of thick black color. Underneath it, the faces of sunflowers are saffron. bent down in the gale of dawn, eyes shut, they stand, the sunflowers. The Gujarati writer is as well informed about the whole world, or could be as well informed as the whole world as an avant-garde French writer, let alone this avant-garde poor English writer, let alone poorer avant-garde Indo-English writers, but even French writers. And this is not from today, this is from Narsi Mehta's time. And Utkarsh is here, we are going to read a little bit from Narsi Mehta. So, Narsi Mehta, when he wrote a poem, and there was a quarrel between Radha and Krishna, and there was a truce, and each party had to send a peacemaker. And from Krishna's side, Narsi Mehta went. In 15th century poem, there was no Krishna, there was only Narsi Mehta. So, and who would go from Radha's side? And Narsi Mehta had to invent a poet who would represent Radha. You know, in 15th century, whom he invented? Jayadev of Geet Guru. Gujarati writers, Hindi writers, Marathi writers, all writers, Indian writers are as well informed about all of India and all of the world as any avant-garde French writer. But some of us are not. Let us kind of intramurally also say that some of us have become prisoners of our own kind of, small popularity contests. So we write those silly ghazals and, we go to the singers and please, I have written a ghazal, I have written a geet, you please sing it. And when those fellows who know nothing about Gujarati language, when they sing your poem or ghazal, because you pay them so much money, you say, I want to give you my album. I'll throw it where Magan used to go every morning. So what is this? We are not becoming truly Gujarati and Marathi and Bengali and Assamese writers, because to be a Gujarati writer is no joke. You inherit Hemchandras and Narsi Mehta and Akho and Gandhiji. So many years. And who are these English writers? What they have inherited. But see how they work with themselves, how hard they work. So these are the poems of stubbornness. And this is another theme. This one is so fancy. Okay. So these are the early poems from a collection which I called Odysseus no Halesu. So even kind of early, I knew Homer very well. And Odysseus no Halesu, there's a myth about Odysseus. When he came back, Poseidon had told him that you will not be able to go to Ithaca. You have to take this oar with which you have churned the seas of Greece and Aegean seas, and you have to go inland. So inland that they know that. Sir, why don't you sit somewhere?
It's okay.
Sorry.
No, I want to.
Okay. So you take this oar and you go inland. So inland that they know nothing about the sea. They would know nothing about the ship. And they would know nothing about the oar. And when they ask you, why are you carrying this winnowing fan? There you plant your oar. So that one day, looking at this oar, they would think about the ship. One day, thinking about the ship, they would think about the sea. And then they would know you. This is the work of contemporary writers, Kamal. Contemporary writers in our languages. Now we should plant. Gujarati reading public has become so false anyway. But they have become unknown to our readers. Good. You have to plant these unknown poems so that one day, after 100 years, you will know what we have written. It doesn't matter. 100 years of solitude is good for us. So the second phase was kind of myth and this. The second collection was called Jatayu, where the bird fought and lost the battle but won himself. And there is a poem on Bamiyan Buddha which belongs generally to this. So this Bamiyan Buddha. How do we know? See, if you are critical, let's be critical uniformly. Let's not become masochistic. Whenever it comes to Hindu culture, in all our colors we fly with two swords in our hand. These, silly Hindus, what are kind of people? Why don't you love the whole world? Why don't you go to Pakistan and say the same thing? Why don't you go to JNU and say the same thing? There is violence and bigotry everywhere. If you are a genuine human being, let alone genuine poet, if you are genuine, be uniformly critical. That's why I have written poems on Ramya and Buddha. I didn't like that. If I don't like Babri falling down, I don't like Ramya and Buddha falling down either. But they are all Babri Masjid people, because they get money, they get fame. Money and fame, shun them. Then you write genuine poetry. So Ramya and Buddha, short poem. Had it not been the statue in stone, had he been standing by himself there in the Banyan cave, I repeat, had it not been the statue in stone, had he been standing by himself there in the Banyan cave, he would have stood as still. Eyes like lotus, peace on the face, his thin garment fluttering in the hot winds, smile on his lips, hand raised only to bless, the fearless man. So the fearless man, that is the early youth I wrote angry poems. And I realized it is not enough to write angry poems. It is necessary to write poems of fearlessness. Because it is more difficult to be fearless than to be angry. In fearlessness, not like some of our later day Gandhians. They are too kind of serious. Fearlessness is a smile of Buddha. That's why I described the smile on his face. And so, these second wave poems are kind of mischievous and yet good. Defiance, fearlessness and so on. Let me read a poem on Nachiketa. You know the story of Nachiketa, whose father was giving away sickly cows in alms. So he had a quarrel with his father. So father sent him to Yama, go and die. And so he went to Yama. And Yama was out here in our world gathering us. And Nachiketa had gone without invitation. So Yama was absent for 3 days. And when he came back, he said, okay, this fearless boy has sat at my home, and what do you want? And Nachiketa had some knowledge and so on from Yama. Yama is a god of knowledge, incidentally. So, but I have played with that. So I take myths and play with myths. This is the second phase. For example, Shabari poem, where Shabari eats this fruits and keeps it for Ramchandra, and she is sure that she is going to come. Medieval Indian knew that Ramchandra is going to come. Modern Western man knew that there is no Ramchandra or no absolute and no one is going to come. But modern day Indians, they are not sure. They said Ramchandra might come or might not come. If you are an engineer, you build a bridge and then also have a Shriphal ceremony. So we are kind of, so I captured that state of Indian modernity, which is kind of very peculiar. So it says, दक्कड़ बजावा लागी आग ने बगला उड़िया 22 रामे शबरी ने केवड़ायु और अवायु तो आग हो सकेगा तो आएगा राम said that. So that's what the word he has sent to us. We fear that he will come and we are afraid that he will not come. So fearfulness is there on both sides because we are not ready to receive him. We are not tasted the fruits for him. So if he comes, we will be caught in a rush. If he doesn't come, we will solve our problems because we don't want to solve our problems. We always want some Ramchandra to come and solve our problems. So this understanding, so it's reflected in more mischievous way in this Nachiketa poem. The earth, because he has come from the earth, an African water buffalo. In Indian mythology, it's a cow. So I, with mischief, made earth the African female water buffalo. That's the The earth, an African water buffalo, young and fearless, pokes her horn of hammered bronze playfully into the full flank of the Mahisha, the mound from whose broad back Yama, death god, has not yet quite gotten down. Nachiketa must be waiting for me, he mutters to himself, and quickly goes up the flights of his palace, tossing his dreaded lasso across his shoulder like sacred thread. Above, a black knight, comforted by the might of muscular body of the dark sky, gets excited and welcomes in her valleys the moonlight juice, bright like sperms. The darkness man rubs his lips, beard and mustachio in the salty sweat drops, the stars blazing on the slopes of her breast. There are two images. The first image is when he gets off his buffalo, Mahishasura. There is a play there. Not Mahisha who has been killed by Devi, but Mahisha from whose back, and the cow or the earth who has gone there, she likes him. And she pokes her bronze like this horn into Yama's mount. Let's mate, the invitation. And up there in the sky, if you look at the sky from Yamalok, dark and full of stars, and there the night is welcoming darkness into her room. The stars are then on her face. And so, two images of Eros in the house of Thanatos. On the muddy, fertile plains below, great shapeless souls gratefully receive their gifts of hard-to-get life forms inside the bodies of yellow lionesses, red she-scorpions, and female elephants, black and wet like heaps of soft mud. She-birds, singing and bold, drink up from quickly woven leaf boughs the sparkling drinks of angry sperms of sages fallen from their tapas. Is also favorite theme of our Puranas. Apsaras come and rishis who are doing penance, they have this calendar, and their virya couldn't be let go, so they make a padya, and that sperm is then drunk by queens and birds and all sorts of things, and new life begins. This is our mythology. And so celebration of life. So three celebrations of life. And this is what Nachiketa watches in the house of Yama. Nachiketa, who was not noticed by the hesitant gaze of the embarrassed death god, sits enthralled on the broad steps of Yama's palace. He gives up his old thoughts about his father's sickly cows and finds for himself an answer to his original question. And finds for himself answers to his original question. Without asking for any other boon from the god, quite tired and thirsty from his long journey, Nachiketa returns the same night to his home place, sits near the steps of the village well, full of water, and waits for her who would come at the dawn with a new earthen pot on her waist. So Nachiketa, in our time, finds answers for himself. And India's attitude towards death, if you look at cultures closely is this. Whether Vajrabai is here, whether the Parsi tradition or other traditions. Then is a portal. There is life. And after someone dies, you have a feast. What is going on here? Just try to ask ourselves, why feast? And we have about 10 minutes more, I believe, so that the question and answers could then begin. So let me go to the third phase of my writing. This is how I try to deal with mythology, because Umashankar Joshi used to say that mythology is a shorthand of the people. Shorthand of the people. But Umashankar Joshi was a good stenographer, and he knew how to understand the shorthand, and wrote lovely poems which are as good as the old poems. Now I'm a mischievous stenographer, and I make changes in the master's dictations. That is the difference between the Gandhian poets and so many poets who are treated here, new Gujarati poets. And we are kind of make women poets and men poets all. So we make these changes. So this is what I did in the second phase. If the mythology in Indian tradition opened this way, we unhinged it and made it open the other way around. So these are the third phase, for which I would like to read 2 poems. The political environment. Well, later on I realized that Delhi Uncha Sunti Hai. There's a play like that, no? Delhi Uncha Sunti Hai. I had to raise my... I felt very bad about it. I had to speak more at the level of Abhidha. I would have loved to speak only in images and Vyanjana and Dhvani. I greatly enjoyed it. I realized. So, what I realized was, I'm not alone. That I'm not speaking of myself. That I'm not the angry poet. But I feel bad about life going wrong all around. That's all of us feel bad about it. So I lowered my means of communication, lowered it to more kind of understandable. Of course, even now they say that you don't understand a poet, doesn't matter. You can wait. There's enough number of people. You have to put some more chairs, so that is good. I was in Paris, and Umashankar Joshi was also there, but he didn't know that I was in Paris. Later on he scolded me, but then he said that I had to see UNESCO's chairs just myself, and you didn't come with me. I said, I didn't know that you were here. And then he wrote one thing. He said that there were as many empty chairs in the auditorium as they were on the stage. That is the confidence of an Indian writer. That the theatre is always full, fortunately. But if our theatre, if no one comes, they're empty chairs, what does it matter? Even UNESCO's chairs had in France some empty chairs, as many empty chairs. So like that, we must deal with the world with a sense of confidence. And like that. So let me read. Vishwamitri behind the bend. Vishwamitri is our little river in Vadodara. And the name derives from Vishwamitra, the sage, whose name meant friend of the whole world. Vishwamitra. Vishwamitra. Is not different something. So Vishwamitra. So, and Vishwamitra. I'll read this in English. Vishwamitri behind the bend. He dashed forth to offer friendship to all. The sage whom they called Vishwamitra. He didn't know much of the world, busy with mutual maneuvers. It lost no time to dump upon him dirty heaps of disrespect. is a listless daughter of some such sage. This our river, Vishwamitra. I'll read this again. He dashed forth to offer friendship to all, a sage whom they called Vishwamitra. He didn't know much of the world, busy in mutual maneuvers. That world lost no time to dump upon him dirty heaps of disrespect. She is a listless daughter of some such sage. This our river, Vishwamitra. She has no intimate wash places where women might come to bathe. No public wharfs where sailing ships could pause for a refill. No quiet sidewalks near her flow for an evening stroll. Pandits standing in water waist deep, uttering shlokas to the sun, or padres baptizing others in the name of the sun. She has none. No water at all, in fact, that could rightly be called water. She flows on, mute, dragging along some nameless fluid. Finds a narrow passage between the beasts locked up for life in the big zoo. There is a zoo there. And the citizens of my town loitering lost for a while in the big garden. Like a leper woman, she retreats with her limbs drawn into herself. This river of ours cannot afford to have shame, hope, pain, or faint smile on her lips. Whenever I have looked straight at her, she has at each time lowered her gaze and slid away behind that bend over there. Though, if you thought of it, she too might have once been a river, just as Ganga, Seine, Volga, Nile, Thames, Huanghe, Mississippi, Amazon are all rivers. She too was perhaps one, much smaller, yet a river. Water coursing along, in which water creatures live. A full moon was reflected. Stags with tangled horns at dawn, and at late evening, cheetahs glistening with glistening bodies bent their head in respect and then took a drink. At late evening and in respect and took a drink on those two banks, on whose two banks farmlands made thirsty by strong summer sun suckled, crouching in a row, their lips trembling like lovely infants. Whenever I say such things, standing on that bridge, over there, stretched across her, softly, so that only she might hear, she has each time pretended not to hear me. She would close her eyes shut, pull sari around her thin body, draw a cover of floating dirt across her face, go away in some haste behind that bend. Rarely, though, at last, when things go beyond her endurance, then on a moonlit night in the dark, she is in fate. This river, she overflows like eyes of a blind girl. Early pre-dawn, next dawn, She climbs on the banks, quickly rushes to the town square, lifts herself up on the tips of her feet, and rises up to the feet of her king, once so carrying, now dressed in black clothes, seated on a black horse, turned to stone. She stops, stares, understands, bites her tongue, shuts her lips up, dries her tears with the back of her own hand, and all by herself falls back, recedes, noiseless, stepping through all the mud, and goes away behind the bed. So this is the agony that you feel only if you live in Vadodara. Or in Kolhapur, or anywhere in India, but very locally. And hopefully, through your efforts, and through your efforts, we will have a network of these localities, which will be such a different India. Network of localities. So gradually, like that Jain young man, a whole new Indian language would be born. All the localities, all the poets, which are here going around the country, speaking the language, right? Reading translations, trying Hindi. I hope Hindi doesn't become a national language. So I hope Hindi also remains a regional language. It will be such a great regional language. It will be such a disastrous national language. So, a network of regional languages with Tamil and Hindi and Gujarati is such a good language of translation. So, okay, let me read this last poem and be done with it. So, let you talk. The last poem is on Yusuf Meherali. It's a long poem, I'll read only a part of it. Yusuf Meherali, excuse me. See, after all this, they say, Godhra, Godhra, Godhra. How terrible things Hindus did in Godhra. Poor fellows don't know what happened in Godhra. At least you have proper information. What happened at Naroda Patia, I condemn. But in the same breath, I condemn what happened at Godhra. But our friends don't know what happened at Godhra. Find out what happened at Godhra.
Yeah.
Where was the train? Who was in the train? Who was outside the train?
Burned.
Find out who was burned. Then you are able to burn along with those who were burned in Naroda Patia. Then you earn the right to burn with the Naroda Patia flames. You are a pretender. If you pretend that you are burned by Naroda Patia flames, on the right of burning with these wretched fires, but first burning, not first or last, and cemented both Godhra and Naroda Patia. I have a poem on that also, but next time you invited Utkarsh twice, no?
So
I know that.
So with due respect on this burning, what about Chauri Chaura incident where Mahatma Gandhi, which was the first burning of this?
Salute to you. Absolutely salute to you. Absolutely. Great. You burn with, yeah, exactly. That's what India is. So, Yusuf Meherali, excuse me. Yusuf Meherali was an absolutely handsome young Muslim congressman during freedom struggle. And I invite him here and then ask him to please leave because I cannot protect you now. There is a poem all about it. I'll read only the first part of it and then you read this translation later on. So, Yusuf Meherali, excuse me. This is how you say excuse me. not like politicians who commit sins throughout the week and on Sunday go to the Father and say, Father, I confess. So that on Monday I could commit next set of sins. So that's not how you say sorry. Say sorry very different. Sorry of readers and writers of poetry is a different kind of sorrow. So Yusuf Meherdi is speaking. I would like to talk to you if you are free. Do you remember Mr. Broker, Gulab Das? He was with you at Lahore Congress. He was your neighbor at the camp Khair presided over. Broker, Gujarati writer. Yes, I'm a reader of his books. You would not know me. Books are like that. Authorized memoirs. One-way street. But if you come to my home, we can talk to each other. Here, though things are in free verse, like Hindustan after Mughalai broke and India before the British rule, a society without a state, you might perhaps like that. Would you come? This is how I invited him to Gujarati poetry. And the commentary is that Gujarati poetry is like Hindustan after Mughalai broke and India before the British rule. A chaotic place where the state is weak. Whether it be the Mughalai state or the British state, the state is weak. The society finds its own resources. And that's what poetry is everywhere. And that's why society must find its resources through its mother tongue. Can the British or Americans find their resources through Russian? Ask them. That we will teach you Russian, you write only in Russian. And we will give you all the prizes. Or would the Germans find their resources through French language? If they cannot find their resources, why can't they find their resources? Why do they write in their languages and want us to write in English by giving us Nobel Prize? Who wants a Nobel Prize? Of course they are not going to give me, so I'm not giving up. But that is the point. That there, if not the Nobel Prize, there are so many other things. I think here also it is written that some such other prize is given to some such writer. There is a great Kitab Khana, and I like the word Kitab Khana. But why is it written here somewhere that some Booker Prize is given to something? Oh, why Booker Prize? So such things must happen within us. You must tell, the Somayas are, Gujaratis are very dear, kind of, not very dear, they don't know me, but I know them. But these are the Gujaratis must tell each other. At Baroda railway station, they would say, or Surat railway station, they say, in Hindi and English, they would say, the full Anjali, my wife, drew my attention when we were seated in Baroda railway station. Incidentally, don't always take aeroplane, sometimes take train also, and ST buses also. Of course, this time I insisted on a train because I was on your car, because I was not a Bandwala, otherwise I would not come. But there is a separate matter. Okay, so writing in Indian languages has this also. And that's what I wanted to tell you, that it means taking care of your language in many ways. The railway station, they would say, this train would come on platform number so and so. In Hindi would say, this train is platform par aa rahi hai. Par aa rahi hai. In Gujarati when they would say, our train, platform number 5, और નથી બોલતા કાન સાચેત રાખો અને સાંભળો આપણી ભાષાને કેવું દુર્દશા કરે છે પર નથી બોલતા 5 નંબર આવશે તમે નીચે આવશે ઉપર આવશે હું ક્યાં છું તમે પર આવવાની છે વડોદરાથી અમદાવાદ જાઓ તો રસ્તામાં મહી નદી આવે છે અરે મહી નદી આપણી પોતાની મહી નદી મહીસાગર તો એની ઉપર હાઈવે ઉપર આપણા લોકોએ બધું બનાવ્યું છે લખે છે કે આ નદી કઈ મહી કોતાર નદી અને કોતાર જેવું કોઈ ગુજરાતીમાં છે જ નહીં મહીના કોતર છે અને કોતર એ નદી નથી ને નદી એ કોતર નથી તો હરામખોરો એટલે સાદા આટલું કહું છું હરામનું ખાનારો. કારણ કે આ જો તમે બરોબર ના લખો તો તમે જે સરકારી ને પ્રજાના પૈસામાં તો હરામના ખાધા છે ને એટલે ને હરામ ખોરો, બીજા કોઈ અર્થમાં નહીં. પણ એ હરામ ખોરો નંદલેસ આ કેમ અને આપણે કેમ કોઈ કંઈ કહેતા નથી. એટલે આ પણ ગુજરાતીમાં કવિતા લખવી એટલે આ બધી વસ્તુ કરીને એવી ના કહ્યું ગુજરાતી ભાષા શું થશે એટલે પાછી એક સભા ભરે અને સભામાં પણ મગનના હતા એવી રીતે સન્માન સભાની યાદી વધારે લખી દીધા અને બધા તમે ગુજરાતી ભાષા ઉપર ગુજરાતી ભાષાનું ભક્ષણ ન કરો, ગુજરાતી ભાષાને ખાઈ ના જાઓ, માનવ ભક્ષીની જેમ ગુજરાતી ભક્ષી ન બનો, પણ એની સેવા કરો. અને એની સેવા કેવી રીતે કરે અને એના માટે ગુસ્સો કરો, પછી એના માટે હિંમત રાખો અને અંતે એક સાચા ભાવક બની અને તમે જો કહેશો તો આપણી સરકાર છે, આપણી ચૂંટેલી છે, એને કરવું જ પડશે. આપણે કરવું ના કરે તો મત નહીં આવતા, જે કોઈ પક્ષ હતો. એટલા માટે છેલ્લા આમાં જે બધી મારી કવિતા છે તો પોલિટિકલ પોઈન્ટ્સ છે, પણ કોઈ પણ આઈડિયોલોજી વાળી નથી. અને આટલું બધું મારું સાંભળવા બદલ તમારો આભાર. બિલકુલ.
Thank you very much for this talk. There were 2 or 3 things which I want to ask you.
Yes.
Right from Kalaki times, Jaishankar Sundari, and તમે જે વાત કરી સ્ટેનો, so I have a mix of Gujarati name. તમે જે વાત કરી સ્ટેનો, then we have the best example of Mahatma Gandhi steno being Mahadev Desai, Pyarelal and Narayan Desai. મને 3-4 વસ્તુ આપણે પૂછવી હતી. Unfortunately, you have done a lot of writings in Gujarati and all. But in Bombay, a city, a cosmopolitan city, Gujarati schools are closing. Everybody wants English. તો આપણી માતૃભાષાની કેળવણી કેવી થશે? આપણે ટીવી ચેનલમાં જોઈએ 4 ગુજરાતી ચેનલ્સ, ટીવી ગુજરાતી, કલર્સ ગુજરાતી, માય ગુજરાતી નહીં. મોસ્ટ ઓફ ધ થિંગ એ લોકો કવર કરે છે આપણે ગરબા પાટણ ને ટ્રેડમાં. તો સાચું શિક્ષણ કેળવણી નાના બાળકને કેવી રીતે આપશે? આ છે નંબર 1. પછી સેકન્ડ થિંગ, તમે જે વાત કરી આપણે ઉમાશંકર જોશી, જ્યોતિન્દ્ર દવે ને who are we get inspired by reading your writing. But at those time, Umashankar Joshi, like for example, Zaveshwar Meghani, એમને કોના રાઇટિંગ્સ વાંચ્યા, એમને કેવી રીતે તે કદાચ ભગવાનથી એમને જ્ઞાન હતું આવ્યું તે એમને કર્યું. નર્મદ જેમાં કેવી રીતે હાઉ વોઝ દે ઇન્સ્પાયર્ડ, એ તમે જરા અમને એનલાઇટન કરી શકશો?
બંને સવાલો પપ્પા જવાબ આપો. સરસ, મને બહુ સૌથી પહેલું તો નિરંજન ભગતે એક બહુ સરસ કહ્યું છે, ગુજરાતી માધ્યમ અંગ્રેજી ઉત્તમ. ખરેખર ધ્યાનમાં રાખવા જેવું છે. જો ગુજરાતી માધ્યમની શાળાઓમાં આપણે અંગ્રેજી એટલું સરસ ભણાવીએ સેકન્ડ લેંગ્વેજ તરીકે કે આ બધાની માફક જ આપણે ગુજરાતી અંગ્રેજી બોલી શકીએ તો કેમ ના થઈ શકે? તો એ રીતે જો ગુજરાતી શાળાઓની અંદર આપણે કરીએ તો જે ન કરવું જોઈએ તો ન કહો. આપણે ત્યાં જૈનો, મને જૈન પરંપરા માટે બહુ માન છે, તમે જોઈ શકો. હું જૈન નથી પણ મને તો પણ એ લોકોની જૈન શેઠિયાઓ હોય ને, હવે નવા મુનિઓ તો જોઈએ એટલે જતી કરવા પડે, એટલે શેઠિયાઓ શું કરે, પારકા છોકરા જતી કરે એવું આપણે કહે છે. They would see to it that children from poor families are made into monks and their own children are made into sheikhs. હવે ગુજરાતી જો માધ્યમ કરવું હોય તો એ ખાતરી રાખવી જોઈએ કે ગુજરાતી માધ્યમનો ભણેલો છોકરાને નોકરી મળે. હું મારા બાળકને એ જ સ્કૂલમાં મૂકીશ કે જે સ્કૂલમાં ભણીને, જે કોલેજમાં ભણીને એને સારામાં સારી નોકરી મળે તો સારામાં સારો ધંધો કરી શકે. એટલે પારકા છોકરા જતી કરવાની વાત છોડ. આ મોટા શેઠિયાઓ બધા શ્રેષ્ઠીઓ બધા આપણે આવીને કઈ ગુજરાતી શું, ગુજરાતી શું, અરે લોકો તમારી ફેક્ટરીઓમાં તમારી બધી જગ્યાએ ગુજરાતી માધ્યમમાં જ ભણેલાની નોકરી આપશે, એક જાહેર આપો, બધા ગુજરાતી વાત થાય. એ કરવું નથી, અપ્રમાણિકતા બહુ છે આપણે ત્યાં. એટલે ગુજરાતીમાં જો કરવું હોય 2 વસ્તુ કરવાની. એક, ગુજરાતી શાળાઓની અંદર અંગ્રેજી અદ્ભુત ભણાવો, અને બીજું કે કમસે કમ ગુજરાતીઓની જે ઇન્ડસ્ટ્રી છે એમાં તો જાહેર ખબરોમાં આવવા દો કે અહીંયા સારામાં સારી નોકરી ગુજરાતી માધ્યમમાં ભણેલાને મળશે. તો 10 વર્ષમાં બધે ગુજરાતી માધ્યમની શાળાઓ થઈ જશે. આ તો બધા વેપારીઓ છે. આજે કોઈ there are no teachers, there are no educationists who run these education institutions. Education institutions have been completely debased. No, they are run by thugs. I've been a vice chancellor. I've fought them. I was never given a second term. I was thrown out. Because I wouldn't permit that. But they want comforts. બહુ બધું છે એટલે પણ એ હું 75 વર્ષે એક શીખ્યો છું કે ભલા માણસ ગુસ્સે થવાને બદલે શાંત થઈને કામ કરો તો મને ગુસ્સો આવી જાય છે.
આક્રોશ છે, ગુસ્સો નથી.
આક્રોશ ના કરવો જોઈએ. તો એક વખત તો આ મુખ્યત્વે એક વસ્તુ આપણે છૂટા પડીએ એની પહેલા ઉત્કર્ષ ચાલે કે ઉત્કર્ષ is there, no? Check us, okay. One last, before we discuss this, the last question. There is a short, there is a part of my play, and આજની સવારે બહુ મળતું છે. I would request Utkarsh to read that short 1 to 3 minutes. પણ બીજા સવાલો બંને સવાલ આવી ગયા?
ના, માનો એક
હા પેલા
આને બ્રીફલી કર્યું પણ મને માનો વિચાર હતો જે ઝવેચન આ ફર્સ્ટ આન્સર યુ આર રાઇટલી ઇન્સ્પાયર્ડ. પણ સાહેબ હું તમને કહું ઘણા અહીંયા બોમ્બેમાં કે જે ગુજરાતી યુનિવર્સિટી સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ need not apply. ગુજરાતી યુનિવર્સિટી સ્ટુડન્ટ્સ need not apply.
એ કરે છે કારણ કે
Excuse me, sorry to interrupt. I agree with what sir says. Where I come from Gujarat, and when I had applied here, I got the admission in the last waiting list with a lot of like it is very irony. You know that being Hindi also a national language, English is known as a sign of intelligence in our country. Even me being Gujarati, with my cousins, with my friends, it's like you work in Mumbai especially, you are working with the corporates, then why do it is they look down on you that why are you not speaking Gujarati? I mean, you know, why you are not speaking English, sorry, and you are speaking in Gujarati. So it's a very big irony कि આપણે પોતાના ઘરમાં રહીને ગુજરાતી નથી બોલી શકતા. So this is what I mean. I'm just connecting with what he's saying.
બિલકુલ. આ માટે જે કરાય તે રાજ્ય નહીં કરે, સમાજ કરશે. એટલે સમાજની અંદર આપણે આવી રીતે ભેગા થઈએ છીએ, આ તે તમે ચર્ચા કરો છો ને એ છે કે ખુશી ઓછી પડીને ઉપર બેઠા છે. આ કે એટલે તમે વર્ડસવર્થનું કહો, માય હાર્ટ લિફ્ટ્સ અપ when I behold a rainbow in the sky. તમે કરો, અમે તમારી હવે પાછળની સાથે છીએ પણ કંઈક કરો. નવી પેઢી, હું એક મેગેઝિન ચલાવું છું, ગુજરાત ફાઉન્ડર્સ ગુજરાતી સભાનું ત્રૈમાસિક. એની અંદર 15 થી 25 વર્ષના તમારા જેવા લેખકો માટે એક આખો જુદો વિભાગ છે, એનામાં લખો. એટલે આપણે કરીએ પૂરું થાય કે બને મોત આપણે કંઈ આમ.
ये इन्होंने जो बोला गुजराती का, हम मारवाड़ी हैं, हम तो सोचते हैं कि गुजराती का हर बच्चा गुजराती बोलता है, पूरा दुनिया में कहीं हो, नॉर्थ अफ्रीका हो, साउथ अफ्रीका हो, हम मारवाड़ियों का तो खत्म हो जाएगा एक दो पीढ़ी में. मारवाड़ी कोई बच्चे बोलते ही नहीं. और मजे की बात है, मेरे बच्चे रोज बोलते थे कि पापा आपने हमको मारवाड़ी नहीं सिखाया. मैं ऑलरेडी लॉस्ट थी. माई पेरेंट्स डिडंट टॉक बिकॉज ग्रेट ग्रैंडफादर माइग्रेटेड फ्रॉम बीकानेर टू कैलकाटा and his father had just come, but वो अपने भाई से बात करते हैं, कजिन से बात करते हैं, बच्चों को सिखाया ही नहीं, खुद नहीं सिखाया.
लेकिन मारवाड़ी समाज ने कलकत्ता में जो भारतीय भाषा परिषद की है, आप लोगों ने ही कही, बहुत अच्छा किया वो काम. भारतीय भाषा
हाँ,
परिषद,
वो हमारे जानते हैं, वो लोग बहुत
ये सब कार्यों से पहले आपने किया था. और गुजराती और मारवाड़ी वो 16वीं शताब्दी तक तो एक ही भाषा थी. ये सारे गुजराती में लिखने वाले थे, वो सांचोर, झालोर, वहाँ के जन्मे थे.
वैसे मैं जैन भी हूँ.
हाँ, वहाँ से जैन बच्चे आए थे और मुनि बने थे और गुजराती भाषा को जन्म दिया था.
I have a question. So, at one level it's true that English is in India seen as a more elite language and a more forward language. And that is partly to do with, I mean, my sense is partly to do with our history of being colonized. So obviously if the rulers speak a certain language, then the tendency is
Take
to...
a mic, please.
Yeah. Can you hear me if I speak like this?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Okay.
maybe little louder.
Yeah. So I'm saying that for me, at one level, the fact that English is elevated has to do with our history of colonial rule.
Yeah.
Correct. But I wonder if we're always being fed, or if we're always, I wonder if we're asking enough questions of ourselves as to why young people also gravitate, if they want to be seen as modern or progressive, they gravitate away from the vernacular towards English. And what is it that we do when we try to keep in place vernacular culture that makes a young person want to walk away? Because I think there are questions to ask of ourselves. Because for me, when you just celebrate a language, like, it's dangerous. And it's not as if people are saying only to you, it's also many Gujarati youngsters who will say, I don't want to speak Gujarati, or Bengali youngsters or whatever, and who walk away, and they're not walking away from language. The language for me is something else that they want to walk away from, and I'd like to hear your take on that.
Now I'm the listener, you are the speaker. That's how it should be. What you said is very important. I sort of agree with you. English, the problem with languages which have come only last 200 years and so on, is that suppose this high feeling is there. Suppose someone makes a feeling which is 3 feet high. Now constantly I have to walk down. English fails to take me into my past, so I am dwarfed by that language. I must not only know Gujarati, I must also know Prakrit, Abhaman, Sanskrit, Persian also. So, and not everybody could know so many languages. So there should be universities, colleges and institutions that people like us could be with your help. So these institutions could produce books which are in modern languages, but which are translated from Prakrit, Abhaman, Persian, and so on, in all the Indian languages. Then our dependence on English would be less. तो हम ऐसा चाहेंगे कि हम हमारे रूट्स में बहुत भीतर तक जा सके, तो वहाँ का जो रसकस है वो हमें मिल सके. फिर हम ड्वार्फ नहीं होना चाहिए, हमारे ब्रांचेस एकदम ऊपर होनी चाहिए. तो गहरे रूट्स और दूर दूर तक जाती हुई ब्रांचेस और बड़ा सा वो क्या कहते हैं, थर्ड में शुक्र है, ट्री ट्रंक. Like that, our language, we are as old as English and French. Even modern Indian languages. And the difference between Latin and Sanskrit is that Sanskrit permitted Prakrit and Abhaman. Latin permitted only Latin.
Sanskrit is the most comfortable language in the computer. Sanskrit is the #1 language. Computer language is Sanskrit.
કેટલી સરસ all the languages, all the swaras together, or Vedina some Kankatu, wonderful language. We must celebrate that, but we don't know, we don't care for that. We may say that, but in day-to-day life, Utkarsh, it's getting late also. So,
સિદ્ધાંશુભાઈ એક પ્રણામ. વિષય આખો ચેન્જ થાય છે, પણ તમારી એક કવિતા છે વેદના વિશે. વેદના તું અંધ ન કર, વેદના તું નેત્ર દે. તો તમારા જેવો એક વ્યક્તિ, એક કવિ વેદનાને કઈ રીતે જુએ છે એ જરા.
દરેક માણસ, તમે પણ, હું પણ, કોઈ પણ બહુ દુઃખ થાય ને તો આપણે અંદર ચાલ્યા જઈએ છીએ. અને દુઃખ ઘણી વખતે કારાગાર જેવો બની જાય છે. પોતાની જ વાત કરીએ ત્યારે એની એ શક્તિ જો બહાર આવે તો આપણને બધાની સાથે જોડે. એટલે ગુજરાતીનો આદિકવિ એટલા માટે આદિકવિ છે કે એ કહે છે કે વૈષ્ણવ જન તો તેને કહીએ કે પીઠ પરાઈ જાણે. પરાઈ અત્યારે તમે જુઓ નારીવાદી લેખન આવે છે, તમે નારી સિવાય બીજા કોઈના દુઃખની વાત નારી લેખક નથી કરતા. Dalit writing comes and every Dalit writer speaks only of Dalit pain. There is no I greatly respect Dalit writers, I greatly respect Nariwadi poets, but I wish them well. They are so gifted, they are so talented, they bring such new energy. So why confine that energy to your own pain? If a Dalit writer writes about a poor Brahmin, oh, wonderful it would be. And what an elevated position a Dalit writer would. So Vedana, તું વંદના કરો, વેદના તું નેત્ર દે. અને પછી એમાં પેલી જે કડી છે કે કોડિયા ધારી લીધા 32 કોઠે, લે હવે આવતું પેટાવતું જળહળ બનાવી દે. પોતાને વેદના કેન્દ્ર
અગન પંપાળી શકે
ને
એવો પ્રસંગ
અરે વાહ.
કરાગ્રહ દે.
એની બધા
But what happens when, say a Dalit writer, you say example, what happens when the Dalit writer, when our entire society has not wanted to acknowledge the particular pain of the Dalit experience. So when you're coming from that position, then is it not more important, as you said, to stay completely local so that your voice gets heard, and you can only speak of the universal when your voice gets heard? I mean, those are the dynamics you're playing with, right?
But now the stage has come in cultural history of India that because of great work of Dr. Ambedkar and great work of great Marathi and other Dalit poets, they have reached the stage where their voice is heard. Not only heard, but in political laws, not only in literature, aesthetics, but aesthetics, politics, in ethics. In all those fields, ethics also. Indian ethics has changed. So, if you believe in untouchability, you are unethical today. And you are not so in 19th century and certainly not in the 18th century. Now, the new phase of cultural and political history, economic history also, probably, I do not know much about economic history. But now, a great Dalit writer speaking for the anger and pain of whole of India would be such a great thing. I'm waiting for her or him.
They're still wallowing in self-pity. They can't see anybody else's.
Who is they? There are lots of
That is
Dalits.
right. That is
I mean, there are many different individuals in Dalits.
Yeah,
I
but
think
then like I once met somebody and he was crying. He said, my son got 85%, didn't get into a Brahmin and cursed to be born a Brahman in India. And a Dalit with 45 got into it. So who's right, who's wrong?
No,
That is it.
there is a different narrative, but my narrative was different.
Yeah.
And my narrative is that I wish them well, I respect them, and I hope that...
We love them, we
next-
make them,
next
we
phase.
nowadays they're entering our houses, they're with us, we keep them as staff. We would, that not was unheard of
Can we
50
just take
years
this
back.
conversation somewhere else?
yeah,
Please?
yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah,
We have a lot of
Yes.
respect for them. As
તમે
always we heard
બોલીની
from
વાત
another
કરતા હતા ને, તો MP જાફરી MP right hand was burnt in his house ને હજી તો કેસ કોર્ટમાં ચાલે. ત્યારે મને બીજું પૂછવું હતું, આપણે જે ઝવેરચંદ મેઘાણીના કૌસુંબીનો રંગ ને તારા આંખની અફેરની જેને પણ લખ્યું હશે એમને કયા કયા વિચાર ક્યાંથી
ક્યાંથી આવે છે? પછી કલ્પના આપણે નિરાતે ઘેર બેસીને વાતો કરી આની ગોઠડી છે, આ બધી ગોઠડીઓ છે, એમાંથી આગળ પણ છે. સર યુ આર
અહીંયા આવેલા કવિ અને કવિયત્રીની ઓળખાણ કરાવો તો શ્રોતાઓને કંઈ ખબર પડશે.
બહુ સરસ. તો બહુ આપણે એક વસ્તુ કરીએ કે પહેલાં એ જ કરીએ, પણ કવિઓને એવું નહીં ગમે કદાચ કે એ કેટલા બધા સર્જકો બેઠા છે, પણ જો સહેજ ઊભા થાય ને કે તો સારું, પણ maybe,
Please.
ઉત્કર્ષ ઓખાને પછી
અહીંયા બોમ્બેમાં કનુભાઈ સૂચક બહુ સરસ કામ કરે છે.
બધા બહુ સારું છે. Exactly. તો it was so good, this forum, that I spoke only on my poetry. I intended to speak something about my Prithvi Theatre thing also.
We'll have to call you back.
But to emphasize that you must call me back, I'm requesting Utkarsh, whom you call back. મને રંગભૂમિનો દરવાજો જેને બતાડ્યો દાખલ થવાનો, બહાર જવાનો નહીં, દાખલ થવાનો દરવાજો ખરેખર વાસ્તવમાં જેને બતાડ્યો એ ઉત્કર્ષ બદલી. વેદના તું અંધ ના કર. એ બધો જે અનુભવ થયો એ મારી દીકરીના દુઃખને કારણે થયો. કારણ કે એને પેરાલિસિસ છે અને અંજનીના મને એ બહુ, પણ એ વેદના જો અંધ કરી નાખે તો કેમ ચાલે? એટલે બસ સ્પાસ્ટિક સોસાયટી સાથે જોડાયા, બધું સાથે કરીએ છીએ, એડેપ્ટ એન્ડ સો ઓન. એ જે છે એ જે વખતે અહીંયા ભણતી હતી તે વખતે હાજીરીની સામે ચિલ્ડ્રન્સ ઓર્થોપેડિક હોસ્પિટલમાં હું જાઉં, સાહેબ તો હજી ભણતા હતા કોલેજમાં અને અંડર ગ્રેજ્યુએટ પણ એને નાટકો કરવાનું છે સેન્ટ ઝેવિયર્સ કોલેજ. એ કોલેજમાં સેન્ટ ઝેવિયર્સ કોલેજમાં, અને છતાં એને ગુજરાતી નાટક કરવાનું મન થાય. અને અરવિંદ ઠક્કર નામના એક માથા ફરેલા દિગ્દર્શકને લઈ આવ્યા અને 2 માથા ફરેલા મને નક્કી કર્યું કે એનેસ્કોનું નાટક ગુજરાતીમાં કરવું. હું પેરિસમાં જઈને આવેલો અને યુનેસ્કોનું માકબેથ નામનું નાટક અંગ્રેજીમાં મુકાય એની પહેલા મેં ગુજરાતીમાં મૂક્યું હતું. I translated UNESCO's Macbeth from French into Gujarati before it was translated from French into English, because I was there and I knew French at that time. So એટલે સાહેબે મને કહ્યું કે તમે તો યુનેસ્કોનું કર્યું છે, હવે આ કરો. અહીંયા ટાઈમ નહીં જવાનું. ત્યાં નીચે બાંકડા ઉપર બેસી અને લઈ અને લખું. સાહેબ નાનકડો છોકરો હતો, એ એની કોલેજમાંથી બસમાં બેસીને આવે, મારા થોડા પાના લઈ જાય રોજ પછી ત્યાં જઈ અને બધું કરે, અરવિંદ ઠક્કરને બતાડે. એ રીતે પશ્ય વટતરોર મૂલે વૃદ્ધા શિષ્યા ગુરુ રહ્યો. તો મારું એક નાટક છે નરસિંહ મહેતાનું. આના સિવાય કોઈ આખું રંગભૂમિ ઉપર ભજવી ના શકે, ખોટના ખેલ છે. તો એણે એ રંગભૂમિ પર પૃથ્વીમાં યુ ઇન્વાઇટેડ ઉત્કર્ષ ફોર ધીસ. એ નાટક નરસિંહ મહેતાનું છે. સાહેબની સાથે મારી એક તરકાર હું જાહેર પર કર્યો. સાહેબે એનું નામ જાગીને જોઉં તો એવું સરસ આપ્યું છે, બહુ સારું નામ છે. એનું મારું મૂળ નામ હતું નકામો માણસ છે નરસિંહ મહેતા. નિકમ્મા આદમી હે નરસિંહ મહેતા. નરસિંહ મહેતાની અંદરની જે ઉક્તિ છે નરસિંહ મહેતાની જાતને એમ કે છે. તો એના બીજા અંકનું પણ તું એની વાત કરીને.
Every year, Prithvi Theatre organizes a drama festival. In 2007, the subject was musical. I was invited by them to do a play in Gujarati, and I was so thrilled because I wanted to do Narsimha Mehta as a musical. I approached Sitanshu Bhai. I forced him to write this play, and then he wrote a beautiful play, but he took a revenge on me. He wrote the whole play not in prose, in verse. He said, now you do this play. And it was more like a monologue, one-man show. And the beauty of that play was, he used Narsimha Mehta poems also and his own. And you never know where Narsi ends and when Sitanshu starts. And then another thing was, I wanted a chanting kind of a couplet, so I can avoid the blackouts in between the scenes. He wrote an excellent couplet, chanting couplet. So I will present that sing. Sumiran Harivar Narasimha Sumiran Harivar Narasimha Sumiran ho Sumiran Harivar Narasimha Sumiran Harivar Narasimha Sumiran ho Sumiran Harivar Narasimha Sumiran Harivar Narasimha Sumiran ho. આપ સૌ આવી ગયા? ચાલો, સારું થયું. સહિયારા સ્મરણોનો ઉત્સવ હતો. આપ અહીં આવો છો 600 વર્ષોથી. કેટલાય જન્મોનો ઉત્સવ હતો. એક પછી એક એમ આવ્યા અહીં આપ. એકઠા થયા ને એમ કરુણા કીધી. નજરોની પીંછીના લસરકે લ્યો નરસૈયો નામની એક રચના કીધી. રાસલીલામાં કાનોજી જેમ ઘણા, રાસલીલામાં કાનોજી જેમ ઘણા, આ દાસલીલામાં નરસૈયો એમ. સચ્ચિદાનંદ આનંદ ક્રીડા કરે, બીજા બધા અમથા મારા તમારા વહેમ. પણ આનંદ ક્રીડા નકરા સુખની ન હોય. દુઃખના આનંદની તો વાત જ ઓર છે. સુખનો આનંદ ઘડી બે ઘડીનો બંધવા, ને દુઃખનો જો આવડે ને તો બારે પહોર છે, પણ આવડવો એટલો સહેલો નથી. થાક્યો હું મથી મથી, આ તો કૃષ્ણે કરુણા કીધી તે કિમિયો જડ્યો. દુઃખના મહાસાગરમાં ડૂબતા જો આવડે ને, દુઃખના મહાસાગરમાં ડૂબતા જો આવડે ને તો તળિયે સુખ મોતીનો ઢગલો પડ્યો. તારી ને મારી ને આની ને ઓલી ની અળગી અળગી તોય એક વાર્તા. તારી ને આની ને મારી ને ઓલી ની અળગી અળગી તોય એક વાર્તા. ચપટી ભર સુખની, મુઠ્ઠી ભર દુઃખની, પણ અઢળક આનંદની એ છેક વાર્તા. હે આ રૂડી ને રંગીલી રે વાલા તારી વાંસળી રે લો. હે આ મીઠી ને મધુરી રે માવા તારી વાંસળી રે લો. કેડો મેલો કેડો મેલો પાતળિયા પર મારજો. સાસુડી હથીલી મારી નણદણ મેણા મારશે રેલો. એ આ રૂડી ને રંગીલી રે માવા તારી વાંસળી રેલો.
એક રિક્વેસ્ટ, યુ આર નોન ફોર યર બોમ્બે ના સેઠિયા અને સેઠાની. થોડીક આપણે અહીંયા ઝલક એની લઈ
No,
લઈએ.
this is not the time and place. Well, ask them to invite me again. Third time. I am doing a play on Meghani in Gujarati, Meghani Sarvani in Prithvi Festival. So come and see that play.
Which one?
I know you from since childhood.
Meghani Sarvani on 9th of November at Prithvi. Thank you.
Thank you.